Street Fighter V brought back a lot of characters from the older games, but not everyone got treated equally. Some characters got slight changes, some remained almost the same, and others got completely redesigned. Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC Mura here, and today I'm gonna be ranking the Street Fighter V redesigns. And for me, for a character to qualify as someone that got redesigned, it have to be a very dramatic change to their gameplay. And some characters I know remain the same but got some changes visually, but I'm not really gonna consider those. I'm gonna focus first and foremost on gameplay here. So let's start first with a one that I do think is very interesting, and that is Vega. If you don't know, Vega was actually a charge character in the previous games. Vega played very differently. The idea in Street Fighter V is that Vega was always like a nimble character and one that was really quick. That aspect of him was always the same, but they figured that because he is someone who's supposed to be like a footsies character that is moving around a lot, having charge commands didn't make sense for him. And for me, I will put Vega in just okay. He's a middle of the road one for me. I do miss some of the properties from the older Charge Vega because he had amazing special moves, but at the same time, I think command can work for him. He's just a little bit wonky. I think he never had a clear balancing direction or what they really wanted him to be. Maybe they wanted him to be like a double stance character, but never really pulled through on that promise. Hard to say, so I think it's just very average when it comes to redesigns. Next up we got Birdie, and Birdie I will put in amazing. Birdie obviously got a dramatic visual change because he got fat pretty much. And they also changed his gameplay drastically. Vega was a hybrid charge grappler, right? So what they did with him in Street Fighter V is that they made him like a footsies character, as they incorporated the chains more, I feel like, and they also like really played around with the whole food thing and his V trigger. So I think he's actually got a lot more personality now than he did, and his gameplay, in my opinion, is better. Now let's take a look at someone who is very near and dear to my heart, and that is Cody. And I'm gonna put Cody in pretty good. Cody visually changed a lot, obviously, but it's more due to the stories and the character getting like full redesign, because he went from being a prisoner to being the mayor of Metro City, so that is a dramatic change. But gameplay wise, Cody is a completely different character to what he was in Street Fighter 4. And this Cody is much more of a final fight character. That is where the inspiration is coming from. If I had to be honest, in the launch season of Cody, I believe that was season 3, I would have put Cody in just okay or maybe bad. But after they have given him the sway, after they really buffed the knife, and after they made him a really fun character with level 2 Zong changes, I mean, he's a lot of fun. I will always love the Street Fighter 4 Cody more, just because he have Criminal Upper, which is like my favorite special move in a Street Fighter game, and I really liked how Zonk was in Street Fighter 4 compared to how it is in Street Fighter 5. But he is a lot of fun. Like, I can't deny Cody is a lot of fun. He's a blast to play, so I think it's fair to put him in pretty good. One character that people don't think about often when it comes to redesigns is actually Dhalsim, because Dhalsim is one of these characters that also got actually changed substantially in Street Fighter V compared to his older versions. The way his normals behave almost is completely different, and they really focused on making Dhalsim airport to control space. That wasn't really the case before, and with the arcing fireballs and everything, I think he is one of the better redesigned character. His animations are actually excellent. I love the beard on him. It's a very subtle change, but one that made the character look so much cooler. And I do think, balancing aside and putting our hatred to his design battle-wise aside, I think he is fantastic in this game. I don't really have any complaints. Next up, we got Ibuki on the scene. And I'm gonna put Ibuki in bad. I think Ibuki is one of the characters that got changed for the worse when it comes to Street Fighter 5. I do like the Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 3 version of Ibuki a lot more than the Street Fighter 5. Obviously her visuals as well did change. Here they went for the schoolgirl ninja type look. I think it was one of her alternate costumes in Street Fighter 4, but I find her default in 3 and in 4 to be a lot, like the shinobi, the ninja, the generic ninja costume is a lot better, and gameplay wise I think she got dumbed down a lot. So I will say I prefer the old Ibuki more than the new one. And speaking of changes that nobody liked, Juri as well. Juri obviously is either awful or bad. This is a redesign that got a ton of people disappointed. I can't count the number of Juri players who really loved her in Street Fighter 4 but didn't like her in 5. I personally don't hate her redesign. I think it's fine if you remove the undershirt. I think the undershirt really ruins the skin tight suit look, in my opinion, like the biker look. I think that just kills the look, but visuals aside, I think her gameplay certainly got changed for the worse. I think she was a lot better of a character design wise in Street Fighter 4, and it seems like Capcom is taking notes of that and are changing her dramatically for Street Fighter 6, at least how her stores work, to kind of make her a more complete character, so that one is alright. Karin is again one of these characters that got changed. They took away her Ruckus completely, made him like a V-trigger element, and they did upgrade her visuals a lot, and I think she's just fine. I think Karin is better now than she was in Alpha, and I think she's just okay. My mind didn't get blown, and her changes are subtle, but they are effective. And in the same vein, I'm gonna put our Mika in the pretty good category, because Mika also visually didn't change as much as some of the others did. Obviously she looks like she have grown up, and her costume did change a little bit, but I will say her gameplay actually changed dramatically. Street Fighter 5's Mika is a very different character than the Alpha Mika, despite her actually retaining a lot of the normals, but the gameplay and the game plan is totally different. I should say at least the gameplay is totally different. She was a much different character in Alpha. She had the ring with her like jumping off of the ring and all of that stuff, which was a lot of fun, but I think what they did with her in Street Fighter 5 made her much more viable as a character, and ultimately I think they went with the right direction. Next up we got Nash, and Nash I'm gonna put in the pretty good as well. Let's put the balancing aside. In all of this tier list or all this ranking, I'm putting the balancing aside. Here I'm just talking about the design point of view. Nash was always a flashier Guile, and what they did in this game is that they made Nash a command character, and they made him like such a cool character. Like Nash is one of the coolest characters in the game, hands down. I'm not the biggest fan of the whole Frankenstein monster thing they got going for him, but I think it looks alright. It's just okay. Like, it's a design element that I don't agree with, but it is what it is. Gameplay wise, he's amazing. I think he got a lot better gameplay wise. His animation looks really cool. He's now very different to how Guile is, and I think that is just for the better, to be honest, and I wish we will get to see more of Nash in the upcoming games. Obviously doubtful, but we will see. Speaking of amazing, M. Bison. Like, you can't help but clap for what we did with M. Bison. And let me be the one to tell you, I've always hated Bison. Like, ever since I was 9 years old, I have hated Bison. Bison is a character that I never liked. But I like Bison in Street Fighter 5. I know a lot of people don't like fighting him, but I think they actually did fantastic job on him. He looks great, the long cape suits him much better, the white hair suits him much better. In the previous games, Bison was a footsies character. He had really fast walk speed, he had very dominant walks with the medium kick, heavy kick, and his scissors were really good as well. What they did here is that they turned Bison into a slow character, but he is always positive. He's intimidating as hell when he's always pressuring you. It's constantly his turn. I think the changes to Bison made him feel like a boss. Like even in the game, you feel like you're fighting a very threatening character. And I think that is what a boss character should be like. So I will commend them for the Bison changes. Speaking of awful, Gief. Now, Gief is a character that didn't change that much when it comes to visuals. He's almost identically the same. But Gief gameplay got actually changed dramatically, and at least I will tell you that from my opinion. A lot of people think it's just about Green Hand, but it's not really just about Green Hand. I think for me, Street Fighter 4 Gief, I'm not gonna talk that much about Super Turbo Gief because I haven't played that competitively, but Street Fighter 4 Gief was the footsies character. First and foremost, he was a footsies character, and he had amazing footsies, and you really get the whole SBD mix-up situation when you earn the win in the neutral, right? Unfortunately, Street Fighter 5 Gief went in a very different direction, where they made him first and foremost about landing the heavy or the EX SBD. And pretty much the idea here is they want you to soak up hits with armor, hoping that you will catch the opponent with something and then maybe convert into an EX SBD. That's pretty much the entire design of the character. If you take a look at Zangief in Street Fighter 4, if you happen to whiff punish someone with light kick into green hand, or maybe goes into light kick into EX green hand, red focus and all of that, you were converting the neutral into the mix-up. That doesn't really happen in Street Fighter 5. Even if you whiff punish with Gief, you don't get anything. I really hated what they did with him. And obviously here they gave him the air SBD, kinda to make the mix-up even more deadly, since you can chase him in the air, which is a cool idea, but I don't know. I will say I've much preferred the Street Fighter 4 version of Zangief. He was much more fun character to play, and he was much more fun to play against. I don't think anyone is happy with what they did with Gief in Street Fighter 5, honestly. Next up we got Poison, and Poison I'm gonna put in the pretty good section as well. I know a lot of people actually think Poison is amazing, and a lot of people think Poison is bad. She's a very divisive character when it comes to her changes, at least among the Poison players, because some did like the Street Fighter 4 version. Personally, I must say, I prefer the Street Fighter 5 Poison to 4, simply because she was a very derivative character in 4. But Poison pretty much had Fireball, a lot of characters had that, she had DB, a lot of characters had that, and she had Rekka, so it's like, she was just a bunch of tools from different characters, and you put them together. I feel like, at least in Street Fighter 5, Poison is her own character. No one plays the same way that Poison does. Even characters who you can say are in her same archetype, like say Falk or maybe Dhalsim, they don't really play the same, and I really like that. We don't have any other whip users in Street Fighter, so I think that is great. And next up we got the Seth. And I would put Seth in amazing. I think the changes to Seth made them that much better of a character. Obviously, I don't really care about the gender swap. I know some people like it that she's a female now, or that Seth is a female. Who cares? For me, the most dramatic change to Seth is that Seth became a character with a unique moveset. Like, no one does what Seth does in this game, but also they retain the element of Seth being able to copy others by making them like a chameleon character, where you get to steal moves with V-Trigger or V-Skill 1. I think that is a great choice for Seth. They retain the elements that the character was known for, while also giving them their own unique identity. And obviously they got tools like V-Trigger 2 that no one else used, and V-Trigger 1, it's simple V-Trigger, straightforward, but it's really cool. And I do think at least the female look, or at least the updated look, male or female, is more intriguing than the older look, all things considered. And for me, that is pretty much it. There are other characters that got some changes, but I wouldn't say are redesigns. Like, for example, Kage. I think Kage is different to Eva Ryu. Like if I had to put Kage, I would put him in bad, but I think even Ryu was like a better character, but I don't think Kage kind of, I mean, you know what, let's put Kage in bad. Let's put Kage in bad. I know a lot of people were gonna ask me for Kage, where is Kage, and like they're treating him as he is even Ryu, but whatever. Balrog got some changes, but I don't think he plays that fundamentally different. Cammy, Chun-li, again, I don't think they're fundamentally different. Akuma as well, Guile. I think these guys still retain what made them them, right? I don't think they are like redesign tier like of change. And that is pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that I missed someone? Do you think there is a character that you would rank as a redesign that I didn't mention? Do you agree with me on this list, or do you think I kind of messed up on it? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.